Enough of them would do one of these damn reaction videos. It's going to be about Willie Thomas. In case you didn't see this week, old Willie Thomas sat down with ABC News for an interview. You know what? Go ahead and roll that ugly tranny footage.
She's the swimmer who created shockwaves across the country.
She.
23-year-old Leah Thomas.
Always she.
Leah Thomas pulling away.
The UPenn swimmer making history in March as the first known transgender athlete to win a Division I national title. But her athletic achievements on the women's swim team igniting fierce debate over fairness in women's sports.
Let's go and stop that.
It's just not fair.
When it comes
You know, I mean, how is it even fair? He has a massive wingspan, huge shoulders, massive hands, and even when he comes off the block, just starting off the block, I mean, he's already jumping significantly further than everyone else. And I don't care if anyone has a problem with me saying he, because honestly, that's exactly what he is. He has had the chance to mature up to this level, up to his height, up to his wingspan, and which is obviously taller, broader, and just better equipped for that kind of competitive swimming than the women he's competing against. Anyway, go ahead.
competition, it's just not a fair fight.
Throughout the controversy, Thomas has largely remained quiet until now.
I knew there would be scrutiny against me if I competed as a woman.
Yeah,
I was
all that bass in the voice,
but I also
not even trying to cover it up.
Need anybody's permission to be myself and to do the sport that I love.
Assigned male at birth, Thomas grew up in Austin, Texas,
Assigned
where
male.
she says she fell in love with swimming when she was just 4. But as she grew, she says she felt increasingly disconnected to her body.
I didn't feel like I was a boy. I was like, this isn't me. This isn't.
Hold up.
Thomas earned.
You know, I don't get this whole, I don't feel like I'm a boy. I don't feel like I'm the right gender. Like, you know, I don't care. Honestly, I'm a libertarian. I don't care if you want to be whatever you want to be. I don't care. Just don't take away from somebody else in the process. It's kind of how the law in America works even. You know, you have your freedoms, you have your rights until they infringe upon somebody else's. This isn't any different than that to me. But my biggest question is to people out there who say, I don't know if I really felt like I was a boy or I felt like I was in the wrong body. I felt like maybe I was a girl. The problem is, like, why can't you just be a different kind of boy? You don't know how women feel. You don't know how girls feel. You haven't had a period. You haven't had to go through the embarrassing times that girls have to deal with. You've got to live your life as a boy, as a teenage boy, as a man even. And now you get to turn around and say, well, I feel like I'm a girl. Come on, guys. Come on. How on earth do you even know what a girl feels like? And how does that not take away from the lifestyle a woman has to lead or the different things that women have to go through? Go ahead. Sorry.
Spot at her Ivy League dream school, UPenn, on the men's team. But by her sophomore year, she says her gender dysphoria left her depressed and suicidal.
Oh,
I was barely going to classes. I could really barely get out of bed, and I said I can't live like this anymore.
so anybody notice they said dysphoria? Dysphoria, mental illness.
Even if it might cost
Oh,
me
and-
my swimming career.
And he was
that's
depressed.
Part of what kept me from transitioning for so long is I wasn't sure if I could continue swimming and doing the sport that I loved.
Thomas began HRT, hormone replacement therapy, in May of her sophomore year, 2019.
The mental and emotional changes actually happened very quickly. I was feeling a lot better mentally. I was less depressed, and then I lost muscle mass, and I became a lot weaker and a lot slower in the water.
After following NCAA guidelines of a year of hormone therapy to change gender categories, Thomas started her senior year on the women's team. But her success in the water was met with outrage leading up to the
Look at that height
NCAA
difference.
championships. Her
Massive
critics
height
say
difference.
She jumped in the rankings between the men's and the women's team.
And there are some who look at the data and suggest that you're enjoying a competitive advantage. What do you say to that?
Yeah, he takes up an eighth of the damn pool when he gets in it.
Factors that go into a race and how well you do. And the biggest change for me is that I'm happy. And
Yeah, it's easy being happy when you're smashing women every single time you step in the pool.
Competing with the men, I was miserable. And so having that be lifted is incredibly relieving, and allows me to.
I mean, when you're actually
put my
challenged
all
in a sport,
into
when you're really challenged in a sport, it
training,
just
into racing.
takes
Trans
everything
people
out of you.
Don't
What a
transition
moron.
for athletics. We transition to be happy and authentic and our true selves. Transitioning to get an advantage is not something that ever factors into our decisions.
You didn't
It just happens.
transition to win more medals.
No.
Hold on. Stop that. Stop. This is silly. Yeah, look at that. Look at that layout. But if that wasn't the case, I mean, if that was the case, I should say, why aren't we seeing more women transitioning into men competing with men? I mean, we're not seeing that. We're just not seeing it. We're seeing plenty of men who are decent at a sport, transition to women, and transition into a woman, and then compete with women. If you don't transition for an advantage, then why the hell are you still competing against someone you obviously know doesn't have an advantage against you, or even could be on your level mostly? Otherwise, like I said, you'd see women transitioning to men going, cool, let's do this. Let's put my testosterone-laced body, my steroid-laced body up against the men out there and see if I can run faster than them, hit harder than them, and just overall compete and take podium spots away. You don't see that way. Go ahead.
Quickly became a lightning rod. 16 of her own teammates
Look at
and some
that.
of their parents
Look at that height
wrote
difference.
anonymous letters arguing
Look at that.
Thomas posed a threat to women's sports.
The women who signed the letter anonymously said that they absolutely supported your right to transition, but they simply think it's unfair for you to compete against cisgendered women.
You can't go halfway and be like, I support trans women and trans people, but only to a certain point.
No, stick
Where
your
if
ass in
you
your own league.
support
We'll
trans
call it
women,
the sideshow.
women and
How about
they
that?
met all the NCAA requirements, and then I don't know if you can really say something like that. Trans women are not a threat to women's sports.
Really?
While the science on
When we talk about the woman who didn't get the
transgender
scholarship
athletes
'cause your
is
ass is there.
evolving, some medical experts say the effects of higher testosterone during male puberty may never be fully erased.
What are the physical aspects that trans women may not be able to roll back with hormone therapy?
Obviously, issues related to body
Hold
size,
up.
airway size.
I respect the fact that they're going to talk to a professional, Dr. Michael Joyner. That's fantastic. What gets me is, why aren't they asking Willie Thomas this? Why aren't they putting Willie Thomas on the spot going, hey, what about the physical advantages you have? Sure, we're going to talk about your muscle mass decreasing. Of course we're going to say that. You're going to say that yourself because you need something out there that says, hey, I have depleted something of my own to bring me down to the level. But again, they don't want to put the pressure on Willie Thomas to say, hey, you went through puberty as a boy. You are this tall. You have these kind of attributes that are going to give you an advantage. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
Hand size, foot size, perhaps bone density, and so forth. But I think the main thing is the interactions of exercise training and skeletal muscle.
Are you saying that years of hormone therapy cannot put trans women in a place to compete with cisgendered women?
I think that evidence so far would suggest that periods of a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years is probably insufficient.
There is this concept of the legacy effects of testosterone, and that can't ever be zero. Should that eliminate or disqualify transgender women?
I'm not a medical expert, but there's a lot of variation among cis female athletes. There's cis women who are very tall and very muscular and have more testosterone than another cis woman. And
But not at your level?
Then also disqualify them.
In January, the NCAA updated its transgender athlete eligibility guidelines, saying each sport's governing body could make their own rules. Later clarifying it wouldn't impose the new rules mid-season, clearing the way for Thomas to compete at the NCAAs.
It was an incredible experience to be able to fulfill that personal goal and be at that meet, as well as competing as my authentic self, was just such an amazing experience to have these things that I've been working towards for so long all come together.
Are there Olympics in your future?
It's been a goal of mine to swim at Olympic trials for a very long time, and I would love to see that through.
And Juju Chang joins me now for more on this.
That's
Juju,
crazy.
you talked about the NCAA.
That is nuts. Could you imagine seeing that behemoth showing up at, the Olympic trials? NCAA, we've already seen that showing up at Olympic trials. And I'm pretty sure there would be much stiffer competition worldwide, obviously. But, you know, I don't even know what to say about this, man. We can talk about this for a very long time, but I think everything that's been said has to be said. I do enjoy kind of reacting to this. I hope you guys enjoyed it too. Please like, subscribe, comment. Tell me if you like these reaction videos. We're just trying different formats. But yeah, other than that, man, I don't think I want to see any more Willie Thomas anytime soon. And catch you next week.
What's the girl to do?